So are you saying that his job as a cannabis consultant inspired this behavior?
Correct. Everybody comes to crime for anything concerning cannabis. So now I have to share this individual. Once he became crime. See, he likes that. He likes
Your
that.
wife says that once you became the king of weed, your personality changed.
She's the judge who gives rules on the law and life. She's intense with common sense. She's Judge Lynn Toller on Divorce Court, where real couples deal with real life. When Venus and Kron met 4 years ago, they thought their mutual interest as marijuana activists would carry them through a marriage and light up their lives. But now the fire in their relationship is dying.
I'm here today to divorce crime because he's no longer the person I met, and I want him to know he's lost a good thing.
I'm here today because I'm tired of Venus's jealous and manipulating ways, and I'm done with this.
Can this couple put the spark back in their marriage, or will the fire be extinguished for good? Today on Divorce Court.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lynn Toller presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with Cletus Cron, Greathouse, and Venus Anders. The two of you have been married for 1.5 years. Mr. Greathouse, you brought Ms. Anders here seeking $4,500 for the wedding rings you purchased for her, and I'm certain you're going to tell us more about that later. Before we do, however, I'm going to start with Ms. Anders. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your marriage and why you're seeking a divorce after only 1.5 years?
Well, when I met Mr. Greathouse, I don't call him crime. When I met Mr. Greathouse, it was like love at first sight. I thought he was awesome. We were getting along really well. He's a medical marijuana advocate, and he had some issues going on to where his life changed. And along with his life changing, he changed the way he was treating me and others. And I've just been very uncomfortable being around him. He changed his look. He went from being well-groomed to growing out all his facial hair, and as things got worse for him, he changed his image. He then wanted to become Cron, which is short for chronic weed, so he wants to be called Cron. And he wanted his hair to be in cornrows. Along with that, he became like a ladies' man. So I started dealing with cheating, and every time I bring it to his attention, he makes out like I'm the crazy person, I'm the loon.
Give me an example of some things that you've seen that you say are signs of his cheating.
Well, a big sign was one day I came home to an apartment where he had gotten for himself. I was allowed to visit. I had keys and everything, you know, going in and out, to find that the locks had been changed. And then he later admitted he moved someone in, one of the ages of my children, moved her in, and all I saw was nasty videos on the laptop, on the digital camera, like actual acts of my husband. Well, at the time we were just dating, but it was him with this young woman. And I can't be with him the same after that. It probably will never go away.
Mr. Greathouse, do you have anything you'd like to say with respect to the matter she's brought to my attention?
Your Honor, other than the fact that she's left out the part that we weren't even together at that time. So, you know, I don't know where the relevance is in something that, you know, we weren't even together, like I said, so.
I might have to agree with him on that when you said this is something that occurred before you got married.
We were dating.
You were dating, but if he got so out of pocket while you were dating, what's up with the I do?
He asked me to come back. He asked me to come back. I was really struggling because I still love him. And I admit, I said I do to him. It was to make him choose me over everybody else he was dealing with. It really wasn't, honestly, it really wasn't heartfelt that I wanted to marry him. I just kind of, and I admit that. I felt threatened that I would lose my best friend. I felt threatened that I would lose him, period. On top of the things that he was doing to me, it just became too much.
Your Honor, at the time that she's talking about, referring to about these videos, and I moved this other girl in, she was also dealing with someone else at that time too. So you know, for her to
Your Honor, he locked me out of
the gander, and you.
He locked me out of the house, and now I realize why I was the dark cloud, because I was standing in the way of something he obviously wanted to do with another woman. And when you locked me out of my house, and in the area of town we lived in, I couldn't go across town. So yeah, I wanted somebody who would have opened this door and allowed me to come in. He wasn't my husband at the time. He wasn't my husband at the time.
So did you have a romantic relationship with this individual?
I did.
Well, now, people can't get in the house. Oh,
when my boyfriend don't want me, when my boyfriend
that doesn't work out.
When my boyfriend doesn't want me anymore and he's changing the locks, I got a clue.
You know, and I hear what you're saying, and my thing is there's nothing wrong with not having somebody for
That's
a while.
right.
I've gone for a couple of years there, didn't have anybody. And
Very
it's okay.
lonely.
Nobody, I didn't pass out, fall down,
You
nothing
won't
happened
die.
to me. You know, I just waited for the right guy. And I didn't have kids with the wrong guy in the interim while I was waiting for the right guy. But anyhow.
I will come to the house and find like beer bottles on the counter with girls' lipsticks, but this is where I lay my head. The video had my TV stand in the background. I saw my comforters on the bed when it was all going down. And so when I came back, I felt threatened. I felt like somebody may have had one up on me, but then I realized it was too much to bear because it didn't stop there. We did get married, and I went further to find text messages on his phone about menage a trois to celebrate his birthday. Meaning, he helped me to start a company where I'm a beautician, and instead of sending the girls to the back to get their hair done, he's making dates meet me around the corner. I'm in a blue sedan, and I can't even concentrate on getting clients done, because as soon as he walks into the salon, now me and him are going at it, and I can't even keep clients for the drama taking place right in the salon.
Yeah, I mean, she's too jealous. That's what the whole thing is. You know, it comes down to where, I mean, like I've had opportunities, and because they were with women, like there was a lady who I had opportunity to be a part owner in a cannabis institute where they was, you know, teaching everybody everything.
A cannabis institute. So y'all just not in a room sitting around getting high.
No.
Hey, this is better than that one.
But it wasn't about the teaching of marijuana. She came and perched her rear end on our desk of a business we were running and said, "Cron, I'd like for you to come work with me." And I was like, "No, he's not. We'll find another way to teach cannabis than to teach it with this individual."
The woman carries herself. I mean, that's
Very
her
inappropriately.
personality. That don't have nothing to do with business. That don't have nothing to do with me.
Right.
It's not a personal thing, you know. So this is.
Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Greathouse, and I understand that because you cannot dictate how someone comes at you. I get that part.
Right.
My question to you is this. When you were dating and that other woman came into the picture and all around the time that you were getting married, infidelities on your part, infidelities on her part, what made you make the decision to say I do within the context of that kind of chaos?
There was an ultimatum that was basically given to me that it's either going to be like this or it ain't going to be nothing at all. So because I genuinely, you know, did love the woman at the time, I mean, you know.
That was your best move.
And because, you know, my heart was where it was supposed to be, and that was, you know, with being with this
Yeah, but where
one
was the
woman.
rest of it?
Hello.
When divorce court continues, is Venus's jealousy out of control?
This is the same person who will take my phone and copy down a phone number of a woman.
I sure
Just
will.
because there's a woman's name on it, she copies down the woman's phone number, her name, everything, and then starts calling randomly. How do you know my husband?
Is your spouse ready to walk out the door, but you want to try and save your marriage? Call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com or become a fan at facebook.com/divorcecourt.
Divorce Court is back with the case of Venus Anders, who says she wants to divorce her husband because he turned into a ladies' man a year after they tied the knot. But did Venus cause Cron to cheat by cheating herself?
You go out and you sleep with someone else and then want to look at me and talk about me cheating. If we want to talk about jealousy, let's talk about how this is the same person who will take my phone and I gotta feel self-conscious about where I leave my phone because if I
might
step
find another
outside to
text
smoke a
message.
cigarette, I
She's
know that
looking through
she's
your
gonna
phone.
pick it
Sure
up
am.
and copy down a phone number of a woman.
I sure
Just
will.
because there's a woman's name on it, she copies down the woman's phone number, her name, everything, and then starts calling randomly. How do you know my husband? How do you what's your relationship with him? Where did you meet?
And I'm a lot like his
and don't even
assistant.
know nothing about who this
Who
woman
it is or why it's in it. Now, Ms. Anders, you just call random women when there's no indication that that particular woman might be someone he's cheating with?
But what I do
that
is
what
I'll
you're
question
doing?
him first, and if I don't get the right response, then I got to get the information for myself. I'm a big girl. I know how to do that. So when I'm having conversation and she's telling me, "Oh, well, I thought you had moved out." They're not talking about cannabis. They're talking about their relationship with my man. So I think I have a right to question. And when she told me, "Yeah, that was my bottle I left with your lipstick on it," I'm right. It was 100% of the times that it was cheating. 100%. Not once
You've
did
never
I not
not
look.
caught him.
Because of lipstick on a bottle, Your Honor.
No,
Come
she
on.
told me I was there with your man, and that's why I left the bottle so you would know that I was there with your man.
But what did she do? Did she say what she did?
What did she do?
She did it all as far
She
as
had
I'm
a beer,
concerned.
obviously.
Hello. Another one of his little friends that are text messaging, she told me that no matter what we go through, we can get married, go to hell and back. She'll always be involved in Kron's life. And to this day, every time we get into it, it's on the text messages, it's on the Facebook. There she is again.
Have you been faithful to Ms. Anders since you've been married, or has that been a little problem?
The jealousy has been a problem as long as we've been together.
No, I understand the jealousy is the problem. I want to know how valid it is. Have you been faithful to her during this 1.5 years
I have
marriage?
been faithful, Your Honor.
All 18 months, no slip-ups, no mess-ups.
Oh, I can't say I ain't never had a slip-up, you know what I mean? But that's not to say it wasn't justified either. So,
What's a justified slip-up? Explain that to me.
Okay, when you go out and after you say that we on this righteous path, that you go out and you sleep with someone else, and then want to look at me and talk about me cheating, and I can't even think of an instance that I've went outside the relationship since we've been married.
Ms. Anders, my understanding, based upon what he's saying, is that you run around too.
And
Do
that's
you
not
run
true, Your
around?
Honor. I did have an issue with when I got baptized. I said I'm changing my life because it was heavy on my heart to be, and it wasn't saved. I've always believed in Jesus Christ. I got baptized needing the help of the Holy Spirit to deal with this one. And just because I did that in a day doesn't mean that I was ready to change everything in a day. But I did break off the relationship and told him, because they was calling it a fake marriage. Everybody knew I married him to hold him down, to stop him from having.
Hang on.
So she broke it off because it was fake?
What you're doing, you're talking around and around and around. We're in church, we're out of church, but at the end of the day, you were with another guy.
At the end of the day, I
him.
broke off that relationship with him because I wanted to pursue a healthy marriage with my husband.
So the answer to
After
the
she was
question
married.
is yes, you cheated on your husband.
Yeah,
Now you were
that
married.
relationship
Hallelujah.
continued. The relationship did continue.
You got it out finally. Your Honor, look.
And I feel
but
just
I'ma
as
tell you
justified
the
as he
jealousy-
did. Same thing.
The jealousy goes beyond that. She took a computer of mine. That had personal contacts. It had financial information. It had contacts for artists and celebrities and stuff. And because she found a message on Facebook of me asking another female what she wanted for Christmas.
But I wasn't getting nothing for Christmas.
She took the computer, broke it into all kinds of pieces, jumped on the bus, went to 3 different bus stops, and dropped pieces in the trash can at each bus stop. That's crazy. That's
Your
jealousy.
Honor,
Did you do that, Ms. Anders?
Well, I can't say I didn't do that, but honestly, and that's what turned it around for me, because I'm not a violent person, and every time I look, I find, and I went through something. I have to tell you, I left wherever I was in my mind, and I didn't come back till I got off that bus route, and I didn't have a computer on me.
When divorce court continues, did Kron really mistreat Venus?
Emotionally, verbally, mentally, it was just mean-spirited.
If you would like your case heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com and follow us on Twitter @DivorceCourt. Divorce Court returns with the case of Kron Greathouse, who denies cheating on his wife but charges that she has been unfaithful to him. But can Judge Lynn weed through all of this drama?
I understood that you felt that once he became Kron, a certified cannabis consultant,
Everybody wants their own crime.
that he changed into a guy that he wasn't when you were first with him.
That's right.
Tell me what you mean by that.
Well, emotionally, verbally, mentally, it was just mean-spirited, pertaining to me. I watched the way he did business with clients too, but pertaining to me, I'm being called names. He's provoking me with other women coming into the business, providing services for women that he knows is a conflict. I'm watching him be inappropriate.
So are you saying that his job as a cannabis consultant inspired this behavior?
Correct.
Because he thought he was a big man.
No, he is a big man, and the people in the community know it. So everybody.
He's a big man in the
Yes.
weed community.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
And everybody needs their own crime. Everybody comes to crime for anything concerning cannabis. So now I have to share this individual. Once he became
Mr. Great,
Cron, see, he likes
Greathouse,
that. He likes
your
that.
wife says that once you became the king of weed, your personality changed.
He became
no. You became engaged in your own persona.
Yes,
What do you
ma'am.
have to say about
Your Honor,
that?
ask her what I was doing when she met me. That's
I don't want to ask her yet another thing.
I was doing the same
All
thing.
I'd like
I was
you to
doing
do
the
is
same
answer
thing when
the
she met me,
question.
Your Honor. I was doing the same thing when she met me. There wasn't nothing that changed. The only thing that changed is maybe because she finally took the time to get to know me and maybe felt like this isn't exactly what I wanted. Well, then, once again, why later on did you get married to me then?
Why don't you tell me about the $4,500 you're seeking from Ms. Anders?
Well, the $4,500, Your Honor, is for a wedding ring, okay? When we got married, she told me exactly what she wanted. She told me what her dream ring was, how she wanted it and everything. I went out, I had the ring custom made.
Yes, he did.
And got it exactly to her specifications. You know, it was a hard diamond ring. You know, she wanted the diamonds on the side, everything. The man made it up, and I ended up paying a wholesale price of like $4,500 for it.
Right.
Okay. So, but the agreement was that I also had a ring that was made up for me. What you see, I'm not wearing no ring today, still to this day. So the ring that I wanted, she was supposed to get. I got her ring. Now you get the ring that I want. My ring was $1,200. I still to this
But
day
she
don't
never
have
got
the
it
ring.
for you.
So I feel that although we had a verbal agreement that I do this for you, you do this for me, we're supposed to come together as equals, right?
Right.
So without that, I don't feel equal.
When divorce court continues, what pushes Judge Lynn to speak her mind about Venus?
Mrs. Anders, you a mess.
Divorce court returns with the case of Venus Anders and Cron Greathouse, who have been together for 4 years and are divorcing after a 1.5-year marriage.
Mrs. Anders, you a mess. You over there talking 90 words a second. I think you kind of bowl them over, bamboozle them a little. I don't think he knows
Bamboozle.
what's going on half of the time. I think he
knows.
was who he was at the whole point in time. If all of that about him changing the locks and the keys to his apartment and moving somebody else in, all of that occurred before you got married.
It did.
It's not your fault. You're foolish.
But then he came with the ring after that.
So somebody treats me badly and then comes and brings me a car. I don't marry him. I say take the car and go away. I don't need you.
It wasn't never about me.
No, you had motivations and motives that are beyond what you state here. It was all wrong. It was all jacked up. You had plans. They didn't work out. He didn't turn out to be what you want to be. Mr. Greathouse, I think you just kind of you just out there. Just a guy getting from one day to the next. You ran into this buzzsaw, didn't know what to do, so you married her. I hear what you're telling me about the ring. It doesn't make any sense to me. You bought her an engagement ring. Once that woman marries you, that's it. That's all. She has fulfilled her agreement with you with respect to the engagement ring. Whether or not she said she was going to buy you some type of ring, I don't know.
And I'm still going to buy it.
Oh, hush.
I'm still gonna buy
But
it.
I think you should move forward and move on. And next time you get a woman, get to know her. Not just touching and all of that. Talk
Right.
to her. Understand her. Talk to her family. Know who she is and what's going on so you don't get taken off at the knees like this, okay?
All right,
You hear me?
Yeah.
Ms. Anders, do the right thing. There
Thank
will
you.
be no recovery in this matter. It is so ordered.
All rise. Parties may leave the courtroom.
Cron says he and Venus are even more estranged since they got back home. He hears from her every few days, mostly because she calls to ask about money. He's still staying in motels trying to figure out what's next. He says Judge Lynn was definitely on point, calling Venus a hot mess.